can't understand getting dumped because I just can't believe that, like, you think that you're gonna find someone better.
How are the dating apps working for you? Great? Having fun? Nah, me neither. The apps are absolutely not working. I've been single 2.5 years and I'm 33 years old. So I'm an adult, and if I commit to spending any amount of time with you when I could be sitting doing nothing staring at the wall or watching Netflix on a show I've watched 3 times before, I deserve to know right away if you're not interested. Like, just say it was nice to meet you and I didn't think we vibed, so best wishes. It's really not that hard. So I'm gonna go back into the wild and do things the old-fashioned way and meet people through mutual friends usually. That way, maybe you're gonna be a little bit more worried about me talking shit about you to other people. So who knows?
You know, guys, I am sure that many men have heard this stuff before, right? We need to define what we are. We need to define the relationship. What do you want to get out of this? You know, girls will start asking these sorts of questions, guys, when they realize that they are running out of time. Not because they love the guy or because they're compassionate about him, but because they realize that if they don't find a relationship soon, it's going to get harder and harder to find one that they want. But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, guys, we are going to be kicking it off with a clip from this woman right here, guys, who tells us about her concerns with modern dating. You know, a lot of these girls, they're quite honestly sick of the hookup culture, but hey, they quite honestly created it. Guys, before we jump in, as always, make sure to come and join us over on Locals. The link is in the description. It's totally free to join. If you're interested in supporting the channel, there is also an option for that. But guys, let's jump right into this clip. Remember to leave your thoughts and your comments.
2.5 years, and I'm 33 years old. So I'm an adult, and if I commit to spending any amount of time with you when I could be sitting doing nothing staring at the wall or watching Netflix on a show I've watched 3 times before, I deserve to know right away if you're not interested. Like,
and you know what? This is not something that's hard to figure out. Okay, and let's be honest, okay, the reason why she's saying this is not because, like, she has better things to do, like staring at a wall or watching Netflix. The reason why she brings this up is because she won't have time to secure a man if relationships, or quote-unquote relationships, keep screwing her around. Right? You see, because the longer she goes without a man committing to her, it's not that she has the opportunity cost lost of staring at the wall or watching her favorite show. It's that she runs out of time to have children if she's still able to have them, or she runs out of time to have marriage, or like the more this goes on, guys, the more the societal pressure looks at her and says, you know, why are you a 30-plus-year-old woman and you still don't have a man? Right, because it says some pretty negative things about you. It says either A, you can't keep a man, B, you can't choose a man, or a combination typically of the both.
just say it was nice to meet you and I didn't think we vibed, so best wishes. It's really not that hard. So
yeah, no, it's not that hard, but men are not going to tell you this. Right? Because a lot of guys have realized, hey, what is the point of getting in a relationship with a woman when I could just have the benefits without actually being in a relationship with her? Right? Like, there are so many things about this, guys, that girls just don't seem to understand. That the more we see these TikToks, the more these girls make these videos and put it out on the internet, the less that men actually want to commit to them. Okay, now there are guys who get very few options and there are dudes who get a lot of options, but the fact remains that the more crap like this comes out, the less men in general want to commit. Right? That one guy who can get like one girl every 2 years, he's looking at this crap and going, hell no, just as much as the guys at the top who are getting all of the options. Right? A lot of dudes are looking at this like, you know, why would I want to take you seriously? Why would I want to date you seriously when I simply don't have to? And not only that, right? Like you're 30 plus years of age and, you've rejected, myself or many other men similar to me. Like, do I want to be boyfriend number 37 that you've quote unquote settled for? Not exactly a good deal.
So, I'm going to go back into the wild and do things the old fashioned way and meet people through mutual friends usually. That way, maybe you're going to be a little bit more worried about me talking shit about you to other people.
Yeah, because what a fantastic way to do this, right? So this woman's conclusion is that she should meet dudes through her social setting, through social circle, rather than meet them online, because there's going to be social repercussions if the dude doesn't want to date her. So if a man doesn't want to date her and kind of screws her around, well, now she has the course to go and ruin his reputation as a result. Right? What a fantastic foundation, by the way, guys. You've got to be my boyfriend and, you've got to commit to me or I'm going to ruin your social reputation, right? And the thing is, you think that this woman wouldn't ruin this guy's reputation if he just said, no, I'm not interested in you? Like they just had some fun and then the guy was like, no, I'm not interested in committing to you. You don't think the exact same thing would happen regardless of whether or not the guy was direct or indirect with her? It really doesn't matter, guys. Like, imagine this, but you take it into a marriage or you take it into a relationship, like how that's going to work out.
So, who knows?
I'm too old to be here.
Yeah, who knows? But guys, let's continue into some more clips. Remember to leave your thoughts and your comments.
Okay, men of TikTok, I must know this answer. Or maybe women, you know the answer to this too. I'm just not one of the women that know this or why. So my question is, why is it that when I go to a bar looking like this, unshowered, hair on top of my head, no makeup on, nothing, I get hit on 10 times more than if I go to the bar when I actually think that I look cute and I dress cute and my hair is done and my makeup's done? Why?
These girls, like, they never seem to consider the fact that maybe men are not looking for like these just Barbie doll caricatures, Like, just because you have a ton of makeup on and you wear like a a tight skirt or something like that, a lot of guys have realized that the guys particularly that can get those girls as well, they realize that they're a dime a dozen. But do you know what's not a dime a dozen, right? A girl who's not crazy. You see what I'm saying? Like girls seem to think that their looks are completely everything and it has nothing to do with their personality. Right, so some guys just want a nice, calm girlfriend, one who's not like a party girl who goes out and puts on the nice clothes and the makeup and crap like that. Like but she's gonna go on in a second. I've already seen this clip, and from memory, she goes on and says, "Oh, well, you must be intimidated by us." So she brings that up, which of course is always, the go-to, right, when men don't talk to you.
Why is this more approachable? Tell me.
I mean, maybe she didn't actually say that. Maybe men are just not interested in, getting to know party girls, right? Again, girls seem to think that like it's like all about how they look and, oh, I've got to, look and look and look. And to an extent, dudes care about your looks. I won't deny that at all. But the fact remains is like what's really rare nowadays is a girl who's just normal and who's not like a party girl who's on every dating app under the sun. Like, and who's not like posting hundreds of pictures of herself to Instagram. That's a rarity, right? Let's continue on to this next one of this. What does she say? Let's have a look.
Can't understand getting dumped because I just can't believe that like you think that you're gonna find someone better.
And a lot of guys have realized, right, that okay, the dudes at the top, let's get this out of the way right off the bat. You are replaceable to men who have options. You are 100% replaceable to men who have options. Now, the guys at the bottom who, it might not necessarily be able to replace you, one, they probably wouldn't be, you'd probably overlook them and think that they're invisible anyway. And number two, it's like, a lot of guys have realized that even if they can, if you get into a relationship with a woman and she doesn't respect you and she feels like you're settling, she feels like she's settling, excuse me, then that relationship from the man's perspective is no longer worth it anyway, because you just get treated like crap. Like, your option, even if you get into a relationship with a woman who, she thinks that she's above you, the lack of respect that comes with that makes the point of having a relationship with her not beneficial at all. Like, you're just disrespecting yourself by being with these women. But let's continue on to the next clip.
Am I too old to be here?
What?
Am I too old to be here?
No, of course not.
Does it look weird that I'm here?
No, not at all.
Am I hotter than these little bitches?
Yes. You look.
Here's the thing with men thinking they have so much options. Listen, men, the options is for us. We choose. You have to court us. Yes, there are men that will always have thirsty women chase them. But understand, when the woman is the one chasing you, her qualities already, I am a strong believer in not chasing men. I don't care what your specific, unique story says. That's my belief. I will never chase a man down. You have to show interest in me for me to reciprocate it. You know what I mean?
I have a question, right? This, it all sounds well and good. But, okay, it doesn't. But, she says all this, right? Now, my question is she married for at least 10 years? That's my question, right? So if we follow your doctrine, okay, where exactly do we end up? Okay, do we end up, like, where is your ring? Where is your husband? Where is your very long-term partner? Okay, because you say that you won't chase a man, and you get to choose and men should court you. Okay, one, why should they court you? And two, if this strategy is so effective and, you're a boss babe, you don't chase no man, where exactly is your man? And if you're going to pull the whole narrative of like, oh, I'm still looking for my Prince Charming, but it's better, I'm just waiting for him to come over the horizon, you're going to be waiting a damn long time. And in the meantime, you're giving terrible advice to a lot of women who maybe want to have a husband or have a family, right?
I don't believe that because I come from a family of men and I see how they talk about women that chase them. They automatically think she's easy, she's fast. But dang, I'm kind of scared of her.
I don't know I don't know a single man who has ever said the phrase that he is scared of a woman. Like, no, actually, that's a lie. I think I know a couple of dudes who, like, very crazy stuff have happened to the dude, and they're like, I know a dude who's literally had his tires slashed, like, right? So in that sense, girls can be scary just because they're crazy and they might rock up at your house unannounced, okay? But, like, dudes, for the most part, dudes are not scared. The idea that men are intimidated by you is laughable. Like it really is. It's incredibly laughable, okay? Now, if you want men to court you, okay, this is 2022. Where exactly are men's reasons to court you? Okay, you want to put forward the idea that men should take you out on dates, men should this okay, now this looks terrifying, right? Like, what, you guys see this? Okay. You put forward the idea that men should chase you, that men should do these things for you. My counter question is why? Right? I think that's a fair question. You want men to do this just right off the bat, just because? For what purpose? So that they can commit to, they can have a relationship with you? Why? Like, what on earth is, especially guys, when you don't even need to have a relationship with these women, to get most of the benefits out of it, really. Like, what are they going to do? It's like, if a girl goes into a relationship with this level of entitlement, what do you think that the relationship is going to look like for the man? They never consider that, right? It's all about me, and then they wonder why dudes aren't chasing them, and they make videos like, oh, men should chase. Yeah, the guys who have no self-respect, they'll chase you, I'm sure. The guys who are just going to casually date, what they'll do is they'll just put out some bait on the internet. They'll just put out some bait on the internet, right? If you follow up, they'll see you, but they're not going to commit to you, right? Like, it really is that... girls are just, honestly, they're dooming themselves with advice like this. They really are. And what a fantastic way to throw her entire gender under the bus, by the way, that's saying women who chase are trash. Right? I'm sure a lot of people who are married are like, the girls put in some leg work as well. It wasn't just all the guy doing crap for them, but, hey, I guess this woman's like a dating coach or some crap. Maybe, we don't know. But let's continue on to the next clip.
Really wish people
When I say dating coach, obviously, gentlemen, I'm being facetious.
would understand is it doesn't matter how much I love myself or how much confidence I have. It doesn't change the way that things are. It doesn't change reality in the moment right now where we are. When I date as a 30-plus fat woman, I have to take certain things into account. I know the way that men talk. I know that fat women are considered slump busters. I've heard them described as that. I've heard fat women described as easy. I've heard guys say things like, I'm getting so desperate, I'm going to F a fat chick. I've also heard men say that women over 30 are desperate over and over and over again. It's not a one-off thing. You can search the internet and find meme after meme after meme saying the same thing that I've just described to you. And still, you will have men come back to you and say, like, that's not true. It is. I know that that's men's perception. It's an incorrect perception, but
Yeah, guys, apparently it's an incorrect perception, right? Here's the thing. A lot of girls, they know that their options are tied to, at least to some extent, to how they look. Right now, that doesn't mean you have to put on, like, you know, tons of makeup and like all this crap, okay? But to an extent, the options that you as a woman can get are determined by your looks and your personality. Okay, so if you're an overweight girl, right, the reason why dudes say this, it's funny, right? Because girls don't want to appear like they're discriminating against people or anything like that unless it benefits them, right? But then it makes absolutely no sense to me, guys. Like, it really makes absolutely no sense to me. The reason why girls who are overweight are considered this is because men know that these girls will shoot lower because they can't get the dudes at the top. You see what I'm saying? Right? Like, everyone wants to pretend like they're not superficial. Like, and this girl, for example, is not superficial, but by definition, like, you know, she is just as superficial, if not more superficial, than the men.
I have to take that into account when I approach dating and know that some of these men that are dating me are just looking at me as someone who can end their dry spell. And this causes me to be a lot more reserved as it comes to physical intimacy than maybe I would like, you know? And I can always tell that men are so shocked that I won't just jump into bed with them. Like, how?
You know what's funny? I don't... Girls like this, okay, look, this is all well and good, you know, fantastic. You don't jump into bed on the first date. I wonder where this attitude was when she was in her 20s, right? Like, if this, notice, guys, how this attitude of like, oh, I need to define what the relationship is, right? I won't just be another hookup. I won't just be another guy's just some fun here to get over a dry slump. Fine, right? Okay. Notice how this crap comes up when they start to go into their 30s. You don't really hear stuff like this from younger girls. Some younger girls, they see it like coming on a lot quicker, right? And they'll secure a long-term boyfriend when they're in their 20s, right? They'll see it approaching, right? They'll see their inability to secure a man down the line, okay? But a lot of these girls, they'll wait till they're 30, and now they'll pull out the I'm not superficial, I'm virtuous card, and people need to start dating me seriously now. It's like, you could have been seriously dating this entire time. You could have applied this exact same logic, right? Of secure the commitment and then follow up with the bedroom fun in your 20s. But here we are with the video when you're in your 30s complaining that men only view you as, you know, some fun here and there. It's like, yeah, absolutely. You know, because you wasted your time, and girls think that dudes don't understand that there's such a huge power. These girls, what they do is they walk into relationships with dudes that they previously rejected. They just they literally book. Have you guys ever had this, right? Where girls will attempt to, and guys do this too, right? But girls more specifically, they will try and like bookmark a place in your life, right? So girls who might have previously friend zoned you, or maybe their previous partners and they broke up with you, and then they figure out that the grass isn't greener on the other side. They think that they've bookmarked a place in your life, so then they'll just like try and come back and return like nothing has happened. You see what I'm saying, guys? It's truly amazing when all of this can be solved if you apply these virtuous, you know, tenets that you now live by to when you are actually able to, you know, go out there and date whoever the hell you wanted, right? You can secure a dude like that when you're 20. Hell, this girl right now, she could secure a dude very quickly. But again, she's shooting above what she thinks that she's entitled to more than she actually is.
How dare you, as a fat 30-plus woman, reject me? And I hope it makes them feel bad. Them.
Yeah, she's not happy about it, guys. But gentlemen, let's continue into today's magazine article. And we actually had this one pulled up yesterday, but it's actually so long and so terrible that we actually have more content in it. How crazy is that? So again, returning to this article, we've actually covered this article on the last 2 episodes, but it's that long and that terrible that there's even more of it to go. So check this out. In case you guys weren't here for the last couple of episodes, this article is titled, if he's not dating you properly, then don't date him at all, okay? And obviously we have a bunch of points about how men need to put in effort, right? Because the women are sick of dudes not putting in effort. You know, we need to step up, okay? But now we get to this section right here, and this is where we're up to. It says, if you struggle to set high standards in love, setting boundaries, and so she goes on to, you know, setting standards and stuff like that. So let's take a listen, right? Setting boundaries and standards in relationships isn't easy and it takes practice. However, the more you do it, the easier it will be to assert your expectations and walk away when people don't live up to them. Here are some tips to help you get started, okay? So these are, love yourself first. It shouldn't have taken RuPaul to remind us that one of the most important rules to live by, if you can't love yourself, how are you going to love somebody else? It's so important that to put yourself first and learn to give yourself love, care, and romance that you hope to one day find in a partner. When you realize your own worth and value, you'll be less likely to let someone else's advantage take advantage of or disregard it. You know, guys, we heard this, we hear this crap thrown around all the time, particularly of girls, of like, you know, realize your own value and start to care about yourself and value yourself more. But the problem is these girls are not accurately assessing how valuable they are. They get on dating apps, they get hundreds of messages, and the conclusion that they draw from these hundreds of messages is that, wow, I must be deserving of someone quite special. You know, I must really be deserving of that guy who's 6 foot, 6 figures. But let's unpack this for a second, guys. One, just because you can get a lot of men, you know, who are in your inbox doesn't mean that you're deserving of one at the top. And second of all, a lot of the guys who are hitting you up, particularly as these women go into their 30s and 40s, they're not looking to have a relationship with you. You have wasted a significant portion of your life. Yeah, they'll have some fun with you maybe here and there, but they're not going to define the relationship with you. And the dudes, ironically enough, the dudes who actually commit to these women, the women never actually want, because they understand that for a man to commit to them, the man has to be compromising himself. That's like the real kicker in this situation, guys. Girls will, like, even if a dude commits to them and comes along, she's going to go, oh, he doesn't really respect himself because here I am eating Cheetos every day and he still loves me no matter how big I get. What does that say about him, right? It says that he doesn't care about himself. Let's continue. Choose your partners wisely. If you've been in one too many bad relationships or almost relationships, there's probably a reason for it. You're choosing the wrong guys. That's actually correct. I'd actually agree with that. That's probably one of the first things in this article that's actually been correct. Be on the lookout for red flags from the very beginning, and if you spot any, do not pass go, do not collect $200. In other words, don't hook up with a dude. Instead, be on your way and leave his messy self behind. This is about self-protection after all. You see, this, guys, I'm not even against this, right? You know, you see someone who has a ton of red flags, you obviously don't engage with them, right? And for, you know, for dudes, like, dudes will have their fun. Don't get in a relationship with the girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's absolutely just an absolute recipe for disaster. So I actually agree with this right here. Now, my question is, why wasn't this applied the entire damn time? And don't give me that crap of like, oh, I didn't value myself, I didn't know anything. No. The reason why this is being employed now is because you have no other option if you want to secure a man. That's what it is. Nobody's perfect and life is not a fairy tale. It's important that you're firmly rooted in reality when you're setting your expectations, your relationship standards and expectations. You're not a princess and no man is Prince Charming. Expecting too much is always a possibility, and that only sets you up for disappointment in the end. Make sure you're not getting ahead of yourself with a list of must-haves that just aren't realistic. I mean, the thing is, if you're a 30-plus-year-old woman and you're reading this article from top to bottom, chances are the article itself is already not realistic. It really isn't. Like, you want dudes to take you very seriously, take you out on dates, do all these fantastic things for you. Guys who can get options with women and who have these things available, like, you know, the disposable income to take you out on trips or do whatever. These dudes have the option to just not deal with you and instead go with a girl who's younger and who's more pleasant to deal with and who isn't going to lie to him through their teeth. Point number 15. Don't hold grudges. Be willing to forgive. Because nobody's perfect, a guy may mess up sometimes, and you may be tempted to walk away right then and there. Of course, it depends what his actual transgression was, but if it isn't anything particularly major and he just screwed up minorly, he had to cancel one of your dates or he was late, for instance, be willing to forgive. You could be throwing out some great guys by being too rigid. And you see, the woman who wrote this article, she knows that women go out on dates and will throw dudes out for like the most minor things. The reason why this point exists, right? It's a good point, okay? You know, don't throw out your partner if, you know, they make mistakes, or don't throw away people if, you know, over minor crap. But the reason why this point exists, guys, is really quite funny. Okay, because the author knows that women are throwing out dudes left and right because, oh, his ear's too big, his shoes are funny. Okay, he canceled a date one time because, like, we literally saw a clip yesterday of a woman complaining because her date had to go and help his brother who hit a deer or something like that. It's like, yeah, people have stuff to do. It doesn't all revolve around you, but the author knows the girls are just throwing away their options, particularly in their 20s, right, because of minor crap. Next one, learn how to compromise, but not all the time. And we have a whimsical photo here of a woman with a camera from some stock image website. Compromise is a vital part of all successful long-term relationships, so it's a skill you need to master. Yeah, guys, like, why don't we just have consecutive, like, relationship after relationship so we can really boost that, you know, that dating skill, guys. Jeez. However, it's not something you should have to do every single time, especially if your partner isn't meeting you halfway. Stand up for the things that are truly important to you, but be willing to bend a bit when the situation warrants. Except that sometimes it really is you and not them. Wow, are we seeing some accountability in an article? There's no way, right, guys? There's not a chance. We've talked about how nobody's perfect, but you're included in that. Sometimes a situation isn't working out because it really is you. You have to be willing to accept that you have flaws as well, and that sometimes they are fatal to a relationship. This isn't something that should get you down on yourself, but rather give you something, blah, blah, blah. You should be mindful and use that to help you grow. Fantastic stuff. You know, that's probably one of the first times I think we've ever seen some like semblance of accountability in an article. So props to that. But guys, let's continue into today's Reddit article, and then we will wrap up today's episode. So let's take a bit of a look here. Now, this is going to be a bit of a different story. Okay. And this is going to be one where the dude actually gets broken up with. So we actually don't see too many of these stories. Like, you know, it's usually just girls over 30 complaining. But here and there we find some stories that are a bit different. So let's jump into this one. This guy says, my girlfriend of almost 4 years left me. I am 36 now. Is it over? Am I single forever now? And what do I do? My girlfriend of almost 4 years just got home from a few days away with a close female friend and left me. Yeah, she probably saw a dude on that trip, my guy, I'm not going to lie. She claims that I am not working hard enough to improve myself, my livelihood, my living situation, or my mindset. Or my mindset, continued in the post. Now, guys, before we even jump into this, okay, I'm of the belief that you as a man, you should always be, you know, trying to improve yourself, whether that be your finances, your fitness, whatever it is that you particularly care about. Some great places to start are definitely fitness and finances. Okay, like, I'm not against those things at all. I think they're fantastic for men. I think that, you know, dudes who wake up in the morning and they don't have any goals, that is a for sure way to struggle and to have poor mental health. Like, dudes need routine, and we need things to grind towards, at least in my opinion. Okay. Now, check this out. She says that, you know, he's not working hard enough to improve himself, his livelihood, his living situation, or his mindset. Notice how the livelihood and the living situation, these are things that just coincidentally happen to benefit her. Right? Like, oh, you're not improving your living situation. Basically, we need a better house, or we need a house to begin with. Like, it's just super convenient to me, guys. Anyway, let's jump in. I work in data management for a large oil and gas engineering firm. I met my girlfriend on my lunch break almost 4 years ago at the local downtown library, where I would sometimes go on lunches to find a quiet spot, read, and she would calm my mind. My job is rather stressful. She was then a receptionist at another close-by downtown firm and came to the library for similar reasons. We bonded over our shared love of books, music, and film. Since then, my position at work has stayed essentially the same, with minor pay rises on set dates. She has been promoted multiple times from reception up to lower management. She has made more money than me for a couple of years now, but she says that she doesn't care. But I have long suspected that she does. Guys, I don't care if girls say like, oh, so what, I'm earning more money than you. I don't care. Most of the time, they're just straight up lying. Right? Yes, you'll have like rare exceptions, okay, but generally speaking, girls do not like earning more money than their partner. Now, that could be 100K a year, that could be 20K a year. It literally doesn't matter. Girls will start to despise you, generally speaking, if you are not earning more money than them. Right? And that's just the way it is, okay? Look at this, okay? So this guy has got minor pay rises. She has been promoted multiple times. She says that she doesn't care, but notice how the relationship just coincidentally starts to dissolve, right? When he's not earning as much money. Isn't that absolutely wild, guys? And we want to pretend like men and women, like we're not superficial at all, and it's all about love. Let's cut the crap, guys. Here, it's not all about love. Since then, blah blah blah. I knew things had been fading between us for at least a year, but I attributed that to the relationship just kind of slowing down, losing intensity and heat as the time goes on. We are still having pretty good bedroom fun fairly frequently and getting out and doing activities and talking and everything, what I thought was a healthy amount when we weren't at work. Now, I have never been the best of shape, but since having very serious, as in I came close to getting my way out here, bout of the C word in November 2020, my energy levels have been much lower and I put on some pounds as well. Still, I am what I would consider husky, no larger, and she has a few extra pounds as well. We have always had that in common. Anyway, in the incredibly emotional 5-hour-long, incredibly heated dumping discussion we had, she basically turned all that on my head and said that I was what she viewed as good enough. She viewed as not good enough. So he viewed himself as good enough. She viewed him as not good enough. And apparently, she had apparently been into for the majority of our time together that she wanted me to improve myself and my life in almost every way, and she was getting continually more and more dissatisfied with my lack of ambition and lack of drive to change. Now, guys, I'm going to say this right off the bat. People will try and sell you the idea as a man that relationships are contingent on just love and how much you care for each other and how much, you like each other and blah, blah, blah and stuff like that. This is an example of when metrics just kick dudes in the ass. Okay. You want to not go to the gym. You want to not, have any ambition. That's totally fine. But expect stuff like this to happen. Like the idea that women just love you for you and you found the one and she's your soulmate and all this kind of crap, guys. Yeah. Let's give that a test. Okay. Let's make you lose your job. Let's make you add on a few pounds, and then we'll see how your relationship starts to go, right? Because I'm telling you guys, relationships are a trade. This is why dudes at the bottom, dudes who have no power, who aren't fit, and all this kind of stuff. Who if you want to talk about genetics, who are short, right? These guys get the short end of the stick. Okay, but girls want to pretend like it's all about soulmates. No, there are metrics to this crap, and if you fail the metrics, you get dumped for it. Right? 4-year relationship down the drain, okay? We had grown, I thought, closer together during these past little while, but it turns out that she had just been getting increasingly frustrated with how easily I adapted to being household, to household and using this as an excuse to stop going out, stop exercising as much, stop caring about my appearance, and not to seek more gainful employment with better chances of promotion, higher pay, and potential travel and vacation opportunities. She has always wanted to travel, and one of the things she has enjoyed most as she got promoted at her job has been the opportunity to go on exciting business trips to meet with vendors and potential new clients, one of which was the trip she had just returned from before ending things with us. I'm going to say this right out the bat, okay? If a girl ends something with you right after she's just gone on a trip, it's fairly safe to assume that something happened on the trip. But, returning to this idea that you should be having a 5-hour-long breakup discussion, no. If a girl wants to break up with you guys, that's it, right? If she starts like, oh, I think we should break up, okay, see ya. None of this 5-hour discussion, heated discussion. Hell no, guys. Like, too many dudes are like trying to hang on to stuff rather than just walk away from it. It blows my mind how people will try and hold together things that the other individual truthfully just doesn't want to hold together, so they end up causing themselves a whole lot of pain trying to do so. I am shook, destroyed, grief-ridden, giving my dog endless hugs. It has taken me 2 hours to type this post and I could go on. I loved her with all of my heart, in all capitals. All my other relationships were terrible, and I had planned to propose to her around her birthday, Christmas of next year. Now I am scared that I will be alone. How could I be so stupid, so oblivious, and so blind? I have not been able to summon up the courage to contact her again yet. I am about to go do some very silly things. Is there any tips or advice for moving on forward and how to heal? Guys, I'm going to say this, okay? I think you as a man, you should always have goals and ambitions and stuff like that, and not for the women. You're supposed to do it for yourself, okay? You want to lose weight, you shouldn't be viewing it as like, oh yeah, I'm going to lose a few pounds to get with the girl because she had a 5-hour discussion with me about how I'm not good enough, guys. Like, you should be having these ambitions yourself. You know, you want to work in a job and never get promoted and have everything suck for you and be overweight and stuff like this. I made a video like this, guys. I made a video talking about this in particular, that it bothers me how a lot of dudes just don't seem to care about themselves. And I made a little rant video on that. And this is just like one such example, guys, where like you need to start caring about yourself, not because of the girl, okay, but for yourself, right? You want to become unhealthy, you know, all this kind of crap. It's not going to wind up good for you. But guys, we are going to be calling today's episode there. As always, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure that you come and join us over on Locals. The link is in the description. It's free to join, guys. If you're interested in supporting the channel, there's also a link for that in the description. But otherwise, guys, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace. Yo, what is going on, guys? Past Taylor here. Just want to say thank you if you made it to the end of today's video. Before you head out, there's just a few announcements that I'd like to make. The first is that my editor, who goes through all of the blood, sweat, and tears of putting together these videos for us to endure, has started his own YouTube channel. I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the video description below, so make sure that you go and show him some support by going and giving him a sub. Also, at the very bottom of the video descriptions, there is a link for those of you who are interested in becoming an editor. I'm not sure how long I'm going to leave these applications open for, but if you're interested in working with me behind the scenes, there will be a link at the very bottom of the video description. Lastly, guys, as always, don't forget to come and join us over on Locals. You guys might have noticed that a lot of YouTube content creators are kind of branching off to different platforms, and that's because we really don't know what we're allowed to say or do, and a lot of us don't really know how long we will be around for. So guys, make sure that you come and join us over on Locals. It's totally free to join. There's a support option if you're interested. There's also exclusive content and stuff like that over there, but it's totally free if you're just wanting to go and join, guys. The link is in the description, so make sure that you come and join us. But as always, guys, make sure you're taking care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.